Yippee! I am so excited to be showcasing Dieverune Cosmetics' latest collection, Bizarre Botanicals, and the palette is going to retail for $73. And these are the first 10 eyeshadows in the palette, and these are all done with 2 swipes of my finger on no primer. And I mean, just look at that color story, y'all. My goodness gracious, I don't know what Monica is cooking up in her labs, but it's perfection, dare I say. We have a really wonderful array of shimmers, multichromes, and mattes, which is super awesome. And next up, we have the 4 Phantom shifters of the bunch. They are going to retail for $14 each, or you can get a bundle for $56, and that's not discounted. And next we have Gizmo, Enchanted Night, Weird Wisteria, and Andromeda. That is from left to right, by the way. These did not feel overly emollient or squishy to me, and it's really funny because I feel like they look so textured in the pan, but then they end up smoothing out really nicely on the lid, which is really nice. The next product is the Ghost Orchid Highlighter, which is a awesome split pan highlighter. It's so beautiful, and it's going to retail for $24. There is also an additional highlighter, which I don't have, which will also be $24, and the Peculiar Petals Wetliner, which will be $9, and these are all the combinations you can make. We got Bizarre Botanicals on deck. I was gonna say what a stunning color story, but it was gonna say like come out as what a cunning color story. Anywho, we have so many colors in here, and we also have singles. We have a cute little highlight. I didn't get everything in the collection that's coming out. There's 2 highlighters. There's another lipstick color that I don't have, and also a gloss, which I don't have, but I do have all 4 singles, which I can't pick up. And we have the Wetliner. I don't know if I'm going to use any of the singles today. We'll see, because we have 20 eyeshadows in this palette, which is Dieverune Cosmetics' biggest palette yet. So exciting. This is going to retail for $73. And I definitely need to wear Devil's Hand today because I accidentally gouged a little bit out and I put it on the back of my hand. So yeah, and I don't have any brushes picked out. I'm just kind of gonna go ham, I think. I don't know what I want to do. There's so many beautiful colors in here, and you can just go in so many fun freaking directions. You know what? Okay, I think I actually do have a direction in mind. Wait, is this dirty or clean? Because this looks dirty, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, it's just stained. So I'm going to take this smaller W7 face brush. I don't know what it's called. It's a fluffy brush though. And I'm going to take Purple Devil. Okay. And ironically, well, not ironically, but coincidentally, it is kind of a similar color to what this brush is stained as. Ooh, that is beautiful. And then for eye primer, I'm wearing the About Face eyeshadow primer, and then I put the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre on top. And I'm just kind of blending, well, actually I'm kind of like patting this down to kind of do a vague wing shape. And I feel like for my wing shapes, we're kind of messy over here, but I can get them to work. See, you just kind of like move your brush and then you make the shape, bro. That's not very helpful. And I don't know what I'm going to use to blend out Purple Devil yet, because we have Viper's Bugloss? 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 It's Bugloss. 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 But that one honestly looks kind of like a similar tone. And then we have Doll's Eye, which looks a little bit more cool toned. So I think we'll hold off for now. I'm going to take, what am I going to take? This BH Cosmetics brush, which is also fluffy, but it's kind of like a triangle shape. And I'm going to take Butcher's, am I going to take Butcher's Bloom? Hold on, let me think. About the direction I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna take Butcher's Bloom. And I'm just, okay, I will say off the bat, these are really not that powdery either. And I was so curious how they were going to follow up, and I'm just kind of patting it on the lid, how they were going to follow up with Magnetic Mineralia, because I saw Monica make a post talking about how she was like, oh man, I don't know how we're going to follow up with Magnetic Mineralia. And you know what? I would be scared too, because like I said, I really, really, really enjoy that palette. I think it's one of Dieverune's best palettes ever. Oh my god, I have a little fuzzy on my eyeball. And it's just like stuck on my lid. And then when I'm gonna blend Purple Devil and Butcher's Bloom together, I might do a little bit of Viper's Bugless. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of Viper's Bugless. But she was kind of nervous to follow up with Magnetic Mineralia because she's like, this palette's really good. And I was like, you're right, this palette really is good. And obviously I've only used like 3 eyeshadows from this, but this is pretty good so far. But it's easy to say that because I haven't used that many shades from it. But I generally feel like they have really good quality anyway, so I know this is going to be a banger. But will it top Magnetic Mineralia? Well, I don't know. Because honestly, they hit such different notes already just based on the way that this looks. This is incredibly colorful. And Magnetic Mineralia was a mix of color and neutrals. So I don't really think it's fair to compare them, but it's really up to personal preference. Okay, this freaking fuzzy. Let me see if I can get it out. Okay. Oh, and already my hand is getting tired of carrying this. So this one is definitely a little bit heavier as well. Okay, and then we're just gonna kind of marry those together gently, and then I'm bringing this a little bit closer on the inner portion gently. And I'm gonna see if I can darken this over here because I feel like the way that I blended them, it just looks too obvious in a way. Okay, and I already know what I'm doing for the inner corner. I'm taking this flattish, how do you describe this shape, guys? Because it's flat, but it's fluffy still. But it's, hold on. You see how they differ? Anyway, I'm going to take Wolfsbane, and we're going on the inner corner. Yep. That's exactly what I wanted from it. Oh, that's great. Okay. Wow, and I really didn't have to like build that up at all. Okay, and I'm going to blend this into Butcher's Bloom. I really don't know if these are ideal for doing blending like that, but you know what? I always struggle like when I do tutorials sometimes because I really just use whatever brushes I have available, and sometimes I can get it to work for me, and other times I don't. And then I'm just taking Butcher's Bloom on that brush and just blending it. And look at how effortlessly that just blends into Wolfsbane. Because sometimes when you're, you know, trying to jump colors like that, it gets a little hairy, a little dicey. But you know what? I'm just going to add a mix of Viper's Blue Gloss and Purple Devil. I can't not laugh when I say Viper's Bugless, because I really just, I'm sure I sound like a dingus to anybody who knows how to actually pronounce that. And you're probably screaming at me, that's not how you say it! And I'm sorry. Now, I'm taking this really big fluffy Game Beauty brush. This is an E06. And I'm going to try Doll's Eye to just kind of blend out the edges up here. This might not go how I want it to. Okay. Yeah, the tone's a little off, so maybe I'll try Spider Mom. You know what? I'm just going to commit to Doll's Eye. Just on the edges like this. Okay. And then going back in to Purple Devil. And really building that up on the outer portion. you know what? And then to deepen the eye, I'm actually going to take Moth Orchid. Yep. Because sometimes we just need to cover our mistakes. And I'm just using this brush that I used Butcher's Bloom with earlier. I'm kind of patting this and then blending out the edges. Because I do really want Purple Devil to stand out somewhere. And we're just blending. Also, I finally got a copy of Silent Hill F, and it's really fun so far. I haven't played a lot of Silent Hill games. I did play, the only other Silent Hill game that I've played was the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, I was so apprehensive about playing that. I'm sorry, I'm a Bloober team hater. I feel like their previous releases were really not that good. So when I saw that they were in charge of the Silent Hill 2 remake, I was just like... But they did a really good job with the Silent Hill 2 remake, so I really wonder if it was just because they had someone telling them... Like, they had a blueprint to go off of, because I really feel like the only other interesting game was Observer, and I couldn't tell you a single thing about that. I remember thinking it was interesting when I saw a playthrough of it when it came out, but like I said, I cannot remember if it's any good now, so I don't even know if it holds up. Oh, okay, I'm getting really messy down here. That's my fault. And then I'm going to take Spider Mum just to blend that out. Okay, and then vaguely cleaning my brush, going in with Butcher's Bloom. Wiping off any excess on the back of my hand, because I'm a filthy creature. And I'm going in with Wolfsbane for the inner portion. And as I look at this, I don't know if I'm still going to go in with Devil's Hand. I've not swatched this either, so I really don't know how it's going to look. But even though, you know, we got a little funky right here, I'm probably going to, you know, I'm going to catch my other eye up to speed, obviously, but I'm probably going to fadangle with this blend a little bit off camera. We'll see. So, but so far, I think we got something cooking. I don't know why I feel like this eye went better, but I think maybe because I went with a shade name Moth Orchid first, and then I did Purple Devil on top, and I should have gone with Spider Mum, but I did put Doll's Eye on top of it because I went in with Spider Mum and then Doll's Eye, and I just feel like that looks better personally. Well, now I need to, hold on. Butcher's Bloom, and we're just fixing the edges of the eyeshadow. You know what? I'm going to bring in Moth Orchid a little bit like this. But I really like the eyeshadow we've got going on. But before we do eyeshadow, we got to do highlighter. And this is Ghost Orchid. It's a split pan, baby. I am a little nervous. I don't know why I'm taking such a ginormous brush, but a BH Cosmetics number 3. And then I went in with the pinky half of Ghost Orchid, because I don't know how pigmented it's going to be. Okay. That looks stunning. Oh, hold on. I should probably switch my brush, but I don't want to. Okay. Okay, yep. When I saw swatches of this, I was like, they can't be serious. They can't be serious. But Monica, she's serious. That looks, oh my god. Truly, their highlighters, just top tier. So sparkly and pigmented. And, oh god. I've always wanted like a red, hot pink highlighter like this. Anyway. Enough being a freak. Talk about, I need to stop being a freak, and now I'm looking at these eyeshadows, and I'm trying not to freak again. I might, I don't know what I want to do. Okay, let me see. Corpse Flower. Goodness. Swatch that. Ooh. Okay. Love that. But is it going to do too much? Because I don't know if I really want, like, the orange vibe on the eyes right now. I can't decide. I said that. Well, I say that. And I really want to go in with Devil's Hand. So that's why I'm, like, tweaking a little. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. You know what? I am going to go in with Corpse Flower. Just on the edges. Okay. I'm stupid. Why would I say, oh, I don't want it because of the orange? Look at this. God. It's freaking beautiful. And then I'm not doing any sort of primer. Additional primer. I am going in with my finger. I might do some eye primer, or not eye primer. Some shadow stick primer. Like a glitter glue. God, I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of that. On the lower lash line portion. Jeez. Hold on. I need to look at the singles too because we have 4 of them. Gizmo would be really great. This is in collaboration with Multichromatica, aka Miles, which is stunning. And this is also dedicated to his Black Pomeranian Gizmo. Stunning tribute, by the way. I love that Andromeda's is called Andromeda. That is so beautiful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Love that. That looks so shifty. And then, this is so exciting. Enchanted Night, which is Look at All Those Sparkles / Emily on Instagram. So freaking cute. And I saw the swatches of it on Instagram and I was like, And then we have Weird Wisteria. Okay, this is also really freaking pretty. I'm really tempted to wear, I think, this one. Yeah, you know what? Okay, we're going to go in with Weird Wisteria, and I'm going to use my middle finger. Oh. I was going to put this on the middle portion of the lid, but I think I'm actually going to go in with the inner corner. Okay. Yerp. Yerp. I'm holding my breath so I don't mess this up. That is... Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with Devil's Hand because I really, really want to wear that. And I'm going to use my finger. And I'm going to put that on the middle portion of the lid. Oop. We have a lot of color happening. And I'm not mad about it. In the slightest. God, I feel like I haven't worn... No, I don't want to say that. I've been doing some pretty colorful looks lately, but... This is just like, I feel so fun wearing this. Okay, I didn't prepare. I was like, I'm gonna wear a sparkle primer, and I didn't prepare for that. I have 2 sparkle primers. I have one from Dieverune, and then I have one from Dieverune Cosmetics. Honestly, they're both pretty interchangeable. I'm just gonna use the Pixie Epoxy because it will go bad. Well, obviously, you know, this will eventually go bad too, but this one's older, so. Because nothing lasts forever. Oops. Okay. And I didn't prepare a brush, but luckily the cup is just right there. I don't know if I'm going to do waterliner today. Simply because we have so much color going on. Well, see, I don't want to say that because there's going to be a lot of color happening in all the looks. Oh, I do have a little bit of fallout, and I think it's from Corpse Flower. I don't have any fallout on this eye, though, so we don't know what the deal is with that. And then I'm taking this, okay, I love this brush from Simply Posh Cosmetics. It's the smallest, fluffiest brush, but it is so phenomenal for, especially the inner corner, but I like using it for the lower lash line. Oh, I need the single. I was like, where is what Weird Wisteria? It's right here. Okay, just dipping carefully and then applying on the lid. Well, really, the lower lash line. And then just using that to blend out up here. Fun. And now we're going into the palette. And I'm taking Devil's Hand. Blending that out. Corpse Flower. Okay, I freaking love when, I don't really, actually I'm trying to think because I don't have that many marbled shadows. I think this might be my first palette with marbled shadows, and I feel like a lot of the times they look so freaking stunning in the pan, and then you swatch them out and they're just kind of like, oh. Corpse Flower, she's there to prove me wrong. She was like, oh, you thought we were underwhelming? Let me show you underwhelming. It's so vibrant and beautiful. And then I accidentally forgot to use this brush to blend out Devil's Hand at the top here. Wowza. I'm simply chuffed. I'm simply chuffed. I am so pleased. And I really want to wear this because it is a lip mud, first of all, and I freaking love a lip mud for the lips. But I don't know if I'm going to wear it with this. You know what? I will. Who cares? If I really don't like how it looks together, I'll just wipe it off. Okay. I need to clean my fingers because she's got sparkles on them. In a rare move, I've decided I will apply the lipstick on camera, or lip mud on camera, simply because I don't really like applying lipstick on camera of any kind. But this is brand new, so I'm like, let's try it together. So I'm just going to take it straight from the applicator. I don't even have chapstick on. Second dip. I was hoping I could blend out the lower lip like I did the top lip, but I don't think that's happening. We'll see. Okay, I was obviously silent the entire time while doing that, but pretty good. I will say this is quite small. The doe foot is also very small as well. And that can be a pro or a con depending on like, oh, I want a black lipstick, but realistically I know I'm not going to wear it that often. And you know, I'm going to have to like test the wear time and everything. It is a lip mud. So if you've never tried a lip mud, I'm trying to think, like a Kaleidos lip clay is really similar, or the Dramo lip muds are going to be very similar. I will say this feels so thin on the lips, like probably the thinnest compared to a Kaleidos lip clay or the Dramo lip muds. And I think another similar formula would be the Romand, the Zero Velvet Tints, or the Fudge Blur lipsticks, where it has kind of like that thick silicone-y feel. This is like definitely the thinnest one though. But it looks good, so I think I will I do really like the smaller doe foot applicator just because I feel like I have kind of small lips, or maybe like average size. So I feel like when the doe foot is just too big, it's very, very overwhelming sometimes. So I do appreciate a smaller doe foot. And I feel like even on the edges, it looks pretty good. Like, even though it was a very thin, sheared out layer, like, it didn't look super patchy or anything. So sadly, I wasn't able to blend out the bottom. Probably just user error, of course, but look good. I like it. Oh, and then I've, not even relevant, I had to show you my freaking Yeti cup. How cute. And is it not kind of matching the eye look? Wait, I'll have to show the Instagram picture that I shared on my Instagram story. Is it annoying if I constantly reference my Instagram story? But I took a picture of all my reusable cups, and it's kind of giving this eye look, is it not? You tell me. I know the colors and tones are a little off, but I was like, this color story rules. And you know what? I think I did a similar matte blend of this recently. I don't care. It looks good. But okay, first day thoughts, first impressions. Phenomenal. Did you see how long it took me to like get the train rolling in my head? I really liked the mattes and the shimmers, especially Corpse Flower. Like, I get a little hesitant when I see darker multichromatic shimmers because they just tend to crease on me really badly, and I love how they look. I just don't necessarily love wearing them. Like, I prefer just in general mid-tone and lighter or iridescent multichromes slash shimmers, but I really like how Corpse Flower looks, and I also recognize it's not the darkest multichrome to have graced the planet, but it looks really good. And the shimmer single that I used, Weird Wisteria, definitely a classic already. I'm going to compare it to some of the other shadows that are kind of similar to this. Like, I'm sure they're different, but they have done a sort of blue-green, teal-y kind of... Oh, I can't open it, and I'm scared too because I have... I'm wearing a... Sorry, not to go off topic. I'm wearing a peely base coat, and I've already messed this nail up. So I'm going to have to repaint it already, but that's also the thing with a peely base coat, is that it's not going to last long. Anyway, okay, I can't open it. But I feel like they have done this kind of color before. So if you already have something similar, like, I could see you not wanting to pick it up. But if this color is your jam, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And of course the highlighter, I really, really like it. I love the idea of a split pan highlighter as well. I'm so excited to use the other half tomorrow. And it's a very unique color that they've not done, and I really don't see that often either, so I really like it. Lip Mud, again, we'll have to go more in depth on some other days, but yeah. Let me know what you think of this look. And for blush, I am wearing the About Face Blush Rush in Jumpstart, so I'm really glad I went with a purple blush because it actually matches the makeup for once. What else can I say? Yeah. I feel like everything blended out really well, except for my snafu earlier, but you know what, even then, I feel like you can't even tell that I was struggling, so yay! That's all we can ask for, right? And here's the silent... But, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to use this palette. I think I'm going to have to do 4 looks for this. I'm still deciding between 3 and 4, simply because, like I said, we have 20 colors. We have a lot to get through. We have so much. So I'm really excited to use this palette, and I think it is freaking perfect for Halloween. So, toodles! I'll see you tomorrow! Okay, I know we did kind of a... Well, I actually used quite a few colors yesterday, didn't I? But today, I think... Oh, I didn't prepare any brushes. I think today I definitely want to do mostly green. We'll see, though. And I think I'm actually going to start with Witch's Hair, which is this kind of dark green color. And then my eye primer's looking janky today, so fingers crossed that the look comes out fine. I'm using MAC's Sink to a Whisper Paint Pot, which I feel like goes on kind of wonky at times. I don't know. And then I'm going to take this stained BH Cosmetics brush number 8, and I'm going to take Sneezeweed. I'm going to see if I can avoid using Wolfsbane just because I've already used it, but I might end up using it anyway, so. And despite the jank, at least right now, I mean, you can see the patches, honestly. But again, that's definitely the eye primer. But I feel like the eyeshadow's going on well anyway, so that's good. Hopefully, I can cover up these patches with some shimmer or something. And then just making a wing. I was debating doing a halo eye today. I just don't know if I have it in me to do something complicated today. Normally Friday is my gym day, and I probably would have done this. I would have been filming a lot later, and I would be, you know, so much more tired and be like, oh, I'm going to do something kind of simple. But I woke up really tired and sore, so I skipped the gym today. Oh, and then I'm going back in with Witch's Hair just to kind of build up that color. So, I don't know if I'm going to try something a little more out there. Okay, that looks really good. I don't know, I'm like, I don't want to use Wolfsbane because I already used it, but I do kind of want to use it. And I'm trying to avoid doing a similar look to yesterday where I did a specific color. Well, no, I would be different. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, and then just taking Sneezeweed again and blending that more towards the inner portion of the eye. And Bladderwort is such an interesting color because I honestly thought it was like a satin, but it's like a sequin matte kind of color. Hold on, deciding what brush. I think I'm going to take this, I'm pretty sure this is oh yeah, this is BH Cosmetics. I'm going to take this small fluffy brush, and I'm taking Bladderwort and using that to deepen. And it has green sparkles in it. So I really like that, if you could tell. And then Witch's Hair. Okay, awesome. Now, the other part that I was thinking about too, I'm debating if I want to do some sort of cut crease, but I think I might do a dry cut crease. And I don't know if I want to do Witch Hazel or Doll's Eye, because I haven't used Witch Hazel yet. But I feel like Doll's Eye would be more more in line with what I want to do today. I don't know what kind of brush. I think I'm going to take this flat shader brush for Doll's Eye and go for the inner corner and then the lid as well. I don't want to talk too spoilery either, but I got to the part in Silent Hill F where you do the ritual. That's all I can say on that. And I will say right now, like, I feel like I'm at the last third of the game, and I feel like there's so much that has gone on that I'm like, what is happening? So I'm hopefully the ending will be a little, oh my god. Will be a little bit more explanatory. Taking this Game Beauty E10, and I'm going in with Bladderwort. Oh, I hope my eyes don't start to water from all that coughing. Okay. And then this angled 7-face brush, I'm going to go in with Witch's Hair first. Very carefully, because I went too ham on the lower lash line yesterday, so I want to be very careful. And Sneezeweed. That looks awesome. Okay, I'm actually going to take this big brush again and take Sneezeweed and just very gently and carefully bring more of that on the inner portion of the eye and on the outer edge. Cool. And I think I'm going to try that again as well on the lower. Just have to be super careful. Okay, I think that looks really good. And I know that this brush is too big for my lower lash line, but I don't want to use another brush. And this is also a very pigmented lavender color, so that's really nice. I do feel like the purple shape is a little funky. That's my fault. And then just very gently blending this upwards. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, I'll be back. Mats are all done. And really no problem. Oh my god, my forehead. Anyway, the blends are all done. We had no issues blending. I did accidentally stab myself in the eye with the mascara wand, so par for the course. I don't know what I want to wear. I definitely want to do purple. And for this look, I think I'm leaning towards Enchanted Night. Simply because I like the cool tone and I really want to wear Ghost Orchid, which is, what is it, Ghost Orchid? Yes, Ghost Orchid on the inner portion, and I feel like I can't decide. Because I could definitely fit 3 of them, but I just feel like maybe that's too much. No, you know what? We'll do Gizmo. We'll do Gizmo on the outer... Herbert is staring at me because he really wants to sit on my lap. Let me see if he'll jump up. Come here. Oh, hello, Herbert. Okay. Okay, I have too much stuff up here for you to hang out with me. All right, so, well, I threw my mirror and I kind of need it. Okay, I'm going to do Gizmo on the, hold on, yes, on the outer portion of my lid, and then we'll go Enchanted Night. Ooh, that is so stunning. Wow, Miles, your mind, incredible. And in case you forgot, Gizmo is Multichromatica / Miles. This is his collaboration shade, and he named Gizmo after his black Pomeranian. And I'll have to insert a little photo, but he even has like a custom artwork done for this particular compact, which I freaking love the idea of that so much. And I'm so glad that Monica's doing that. And then we're taking Enchanted Night, which is, look at all those sparkles / Emily. This is her custom shadow. And then we are putting that, oh, okay, I'm so glad I did all 3. At first I was like, I think I should only do Enchanted Night, but you know what? I'm the greedy guzzler. And I love putting as many sparkly eyeshadows on my lid as possible. Oh wow, that is stunning. Okay, and they blend into each other so perfectly. And wait, let me see. Now for the inner portion, I'm going to, am I going to take my finger? I think I'm actually going to take this e.l.f. Cosmetics brush. This is a crease brush, which is crazy to me because it's just too small for me, for my crease, honestly. And I feel like I never liked it for the crease. I've always used it for the inner corner. And I'm taking Ghost Orchid on a brush. Okay, that's stunning, but I think, hold on, wipe excess off my finger. I'm gonna go in with my, wow. Wow. These are freaking excellent. Okay, now I'm taking this with a brush and just blending the edges because I'm too lazy to go back into the other eyeshadows to do the blending. Well, I'm gonna have to do it for my
lower lash line, so what am I complaining about? Also, I'm just double checking. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have 5 shimmers in this palette that I haven't used yet, so. And then 1 additional single, but. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I'm closing that. Oh, because I'm going to take the Dieverune Stick and Sparkle Pigment Primer. Put this on the back of my hand. Oops. Take my little brush and then just apply. I'm gonna try this like super flat shader brush actually. Where did I put? Okay, gizmo is right here. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit and apply it on the edge of my lid. Because I realized the shape didn't quite match on. Okay, now I'm taking gizmo. And then Enchanted Night. And then we're going to go in with Ghost Orchid. The inner portion. And now I'm going to have to pick a lip color. Oh, wait, no, not yet. Because I definitely am going to do a little swoop of liner. But I'm also going to wear the other half of the Ghost Orchid highlighter. And I'm going to do the purple half today. How's it look? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, wow, that is stunning. Stunning. Okay. And actually, I think I'm going to take my little inner corner brush and do the little purple half of Ghost Orchid highlighter on my brow bone. Perfect. Okay. Now, my desk is a mess, as per usual. Now, for the liner, I don't know what color I'm going to wear yet. I haven't swatched it. I've been putting off finishing up my swatches because I've been playing Silent Hill. I'm so close to the end, so I really want to finish it. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to take this. I got this. Hold on. Glam. There's something out there. Okay, I think I'm actually going to take this light pink color. Okay, and just put a little bit of water. Then I'm going to swatch on the back. Okay, I like how that looks. Okay, going to take an additional. I'm just going to do a swoop. So I made it a little thick, so I need to match this side to make it a little thick now. I'm almost tempted to do another color, but I don't know what I want to do. Because I feel like the other colors are just a little bit darker than what I want to use. And I know I can mix. Maybe I'll just do that. Hold on. Let me see what color I get when I mix this pink into the purple. It's different, but it's still a little darker than I want. And then I'm going to see if I can mix this navy. Periwinkle. I like that, but unless I do a double wing situation, but I don't know if I'm feeling confident. You know what? Let's try a double wing. Let's try it. I'll just... Ooh, I'm holding my breath. This side looks so much better than this one. So I'm going to probably have to finagle a little. Going back in with the pink. Oops, I need a little bit more water. And let me see if this will cover. You know what? We'll live. We'll live. Okay. Now, I'm going to do a lipstick and we'll reconvene. And this is the finished look. I feel like the lip is just a little bit too dark for this, but I don't feel like changing it, so I'm committing to it. But you know, for not using Wolfsbane, because I was a little nervous that, what color was it now? I've already forgotten. Sneezeweed. I was worried that Sneezeweed would be just a little bit too mid-tone to like not blend out without an additional color, but I feel like it blended out really nicely. Like it has kind of a yellowy tone. But yeah, I feel like it looked really great. I feel like the liner, oh, I did adjust the liner a little bit off camera. I brought it in just a little bit closer because I feel like where I stopped, it was making my eyes look further apart. And I don't like that, so I'm very pleased with this palette. And yeah, I feel like quality-wise so far, it is up there with Magnetic Mineralia, where I feel like every shade's a banger. Like, you can't be disappointed with this palette, honestly. You know, I haven't used every single shade yet. It's only day 2, but I really like this look. I don't know if this is, I like it more than yesterday. I mean, they're both so good, so that's why it's like, I can't rank them. But, and the Phantom Shifter singles, Gizmo, so shifty. Enchanted Night, so magical. And the highlighter, just stunning. Absolutely stunning. I don't know, but yeah, I think this is a really solid palette, and if this color story is really speaking to you, I think it's definitely worth getting. Yeah, but I really like all the colors so far. So. I apologize if I feel like I don't have a lot to say. I hate being the person to be like, I'm tired, but my brain not working. So, yeah, but I'm really happy with this look. I feel like I say that in so many videos, but it is what it is. I really like it. I feel like everything blended together really well. Nothing went on muddy or patchy, and even though we're having issues with the eye primer on this eyeball, the look is great. So let me know what you think. And yes, we shall continue for tomorrow. I had to switch to a voiceover, so anyway, I started out by putting Witch Hazel on my outer corner, and it's like this orangey, almost like mac and cheese color, but it's, I don't want to call it a pastel, but I don't think it's like fully saturated, if that makes sense. And I feel like you can see when I'm blending it all over the lid the way that I am, that it doesn't, like, it just looks a little bit pastel, if that makes sense, like somewhere in between fully saturated and a pastel, because it doesn't seemingly have a super strong white base, but that's just to my untrained eye. And by this point, I had used all of the matte eyeshadows at least once, except for Witch Hazel, and at first I was going to just place this in the inner corner for like a really fun pop, but then I decided like it just needed to have a bigger presence and a look. And then I'm taking Viper's Beau Gloss, and yes, I looked it up, and I was actually really annoyed because when I looked up how to pronounce Viper's Beau Gloss, like the very first video I found, the guy was saying the scientific name, which I was like, really? We couldn't use the casual name for it? But I digress. I found a video that said it's pronounced Beau Gloss, and I don't know why I didn't read it as Beau Gloss, but I just saw Bugless, okay? And I think you would have too, so I made myself look like Boo Boo the Fool for all of us. And I'm just taking all of the colors on a pretty fluffy brush, honestly. I feel like when I'm doing these kinds of looks where I know I'm gonna get really deep towards the lid, I don't want to say I get messy, but I do get a little bit impatient, and so I don't kind of mind using a really big fluffy brush, and then once I get closer to the lid, I start to slowly transition to a smaller brush. And for the next stage of depth, I start using Purple Devil on the same brush, and I'm just kind of using that to deepen up the color as I blend.
And then I started to take it kind of on the lid, and I know earlier I was just talking about, oh, I transitioned to a smaller brush. I will, I promise, but once we start getting into darker colors, that's when I decide to switch brushes. As you can see, I take Moth Orchid on a smaller brush, and I honestly feel like you could maybe omit this step, but I did include it because I feel like it adds, like, I don't know, I don't want to say something unexpected, but because spoiler alert, I'm going to take Bladderwort on the lid later on, but I just feel like the transition from Purple Devil to Moth Orchid to Bladderwort is just a really nice blend, and I really like the way that it looks, so that's why I use Moth Orchid. And I feel like I really like how it layers on top of Purple Devil, because I did that combination in the first look, so taking what I've learned from my first use with this palette and applying it to future looks. I do end up changing brushes to this like flat sort of fluffy brush from Klenoa to apply Bladderwort on the lid. I don't know if it's really necessary to do that. Like, I feel like you could just use one brush, but as I've said before, when I'm filming, I just feel like I have to use different brushes since I have to replicate the eye look on another eye. So yeah, but normally when I'm doing a look, I feel like generally I only end up using like 3 brushes, and it's usually like one bigger fluffy brush, a smaller blending brush, and then a flat packer brush, and then of course like a pencil brush, but I just for the lower lash line, but I don't really count that. So yeah, I kind of feel like I just generally use 3 to 4 brushes for an eye look. And I'm really curious about Bladderwort as an eyeshadow because the Magnetic Mineralia palette that they released previously had a black eyeshadow in it, but it didn't have any sort of sequin sparkles in it, and Bladderwort does have green sparkles in it. And I was wondering for a while if eyeshadows that do have a sort of sequin featuring in them, if they tend to blend better, but I honestly feel like both of these black shadows blend the same. I know obviously like there's like a stylistic look to it, but I feel like there was some sort of like functional reason that certain mattes have sparkle in them. And I honestly cannot believe that people hate matte eyeshadows with sparkle in them, because they're actually one of my favorite eyeshadows ever. Like, I feel like they usually get kind of lost in the eyeshadow anyway, so it's kind of a non-issue to me, but I don't know. I think people have just been burned by them in the past. But I feel I've always loved them. I remember Too Faced had this, I don't remember which palette that I had. Okay, I suddenly remembered it was the Pretty Rebel palette, and I think I got that like secondhand off Reddit or something, because it was like the only Too Faced palette I ever purchased, and it had a black sparkle matte in it that I really liked, I'm pretty sure. Okay, but anyway, I'm putting Snapdragon on my outer edges. I don't know if this was necessary. I feel like if I had maybe made it a little bit more prominent, it would have been cooler, but I really wanted to use a shimmer shadow, so that's why I put it on the outer edge. And for the Phantom Shifter, I'm taking Andromeda and I'm placing it over Snapdragon, but not covering it entirely. And just blending it out with my finger, and I think this eyeshadow looks so freaking beautiful over black, and I'm really excited to wear it, you know, or over other colors, of course, but I really wanted to see what it was going to look like on top of black. For the inner corner, I ended up doing Thimbleweed, which I think is very pretty, but I actually think I wish I would have went in with Fly Orchid, just because I feel like Thimbleweed was a little bit too contrasting with the look that I really wanted to do. So I have no regrets because I think it's very pretty. It just wasn't like the vibe that I wanted to go for. But I still am happy with how the end result turned out, so I'm not too upset about it. And I was so excited to wear the Ghost Orchid Highlighter today because I'm finally doing a mix of both of them, and I accidentally put way too much on my one cheek, but that's okay. I don't mind an overly highlighted look, but I really love how they look mixed together. They're so beautiful and sparkly, and that's just how I like to wear my highlighter, okay? And then I'm wearing the Lip Mud again, and I'm wearing Laka's Unsweet Berry on top, and I just love the gradient that that makes. I really don't wear a lot of dark lipstick like this, so it feels very, very bold, especially with the eye look, but you know what? I think it looks really good together, so you gotta let me know what lip combo you would wear. So I had to film this look at like 10 o'clock at night because I really wanted to get this video up before the palette launches, and I'm posting this the day that it launches. But yeah, I really, really enjoy using this collection. I was not sure how they were going to top Magnetic Mineralia, and like I said in my first look, this isn't necessarily like about like what eyeshadow palette is better, but I do recognize that everybody's wants and needs from an eyeshadow palette are going to be different, and I really like, first of all, I really like the packaging. I think it's beautiful. This is the brand's biggest eyeshadow collection yet. Well, really palette, but especially eyeshadow collection. And I feel like this is definitely for color lovers, okay? We have some colors in here that I think could pass as neutral, but honestly, this is great for somebody who loves color or really wants some unique colors in their collection. I was really impressed by the marble eyeshadows. I don't think I have any marbled eyeshadows now that I think about it, and I have to say I am usually not like very drawn towards marble eyeshadows because I love how they look in the pan, and then you see them swatched sometimes and they're kind of underwhelming. But I will say Corpse Flower is 1000% my favorite marbled shadow. I think Bleeding Heart and Thimbleweed are very beautiful as well, but I really loved how Corpse Flower looked, especially in the pan as well. So I was very impressed by the marble shadows, and I think Voodoo Lily and Snapdragon are really wonderful additions. And I don't know, even myself, like, I feel like I really wasn't like into just regular shimmers. Once I discovered like multi-chromes and like what indies were doing by making these super sparkly eyeshadows, I was like, who cares about a standard shimmer? But honestly, these are really welcome additions to the palette, and I think they also kind of help keep the cost down. Like, I still recognize this is a $73 eyeshadow palette, so that's not cheap by any means, but I feel like this palette could have easily been like $80 or like almost $90 if it was like additional multi-chromes, because they're just more expensive to formulate. So I really do appreciate the variety as well with Voodoo Lily and Snapdragon. I think they're really beautiful, and I can see so many beautiful layering possibilities with these two. And I think they're also really great for when you're like in a rush too, and you're like, I just want some shimmer on my eye, and you can just slap these bad boys on. You don't have to worry about too much fallout or, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to blend this out. So I think they're beautiful. I also found the mattes really lovely to work with, and I also found that there was a little bit of kickback with some shadows, and I really think the only one that had like a noticeable amount of kickback was Middle Mists Red. But otherwise, I feel like the rest of them, it was just like a really small amount of kickback, so it's no big deal to me. And then I wanted to talk about the multi-chromes in here. Ghost Orchid is beautiful, and I also want to point out that the highlighter is also called Ghost Orchid, so there's some overlap there, but and you know what, they actually might be very similar swatched out. I'd have to see them compared, and I am going to be working on comparisons, of course, as I do, but Fly Orchid really surprised me because I feel like it looks, I don't want to say it looks unassuming in the pan, like it just looks like a orange shimmer, but then when you swatch it out and you see all those additional sparkles in there, they're very beautiful. I love Devil's Hand so much. I will say I don't think you could layer that one very easily because it has a very opaque base, but yeah, I really like the eyeshadow palette, of course. And then the Phantom Shifters, they're all beautiful, and I'm so happy to see all my friends do fun collaborations with the Phantom Shifters. I think they're all pretty unique too. And I really love the formula on those. I feel like they have improved the formula as well, because I do feel like some of the first Phantom Shifters were a little bit squishy in the pan, but these ones don't feel that squishy to me. I freaking loved the lip mud. That is, oh my god, it's stunning. If you've never tried a lip mud formula, I feel like this is a really good one to try, and I believe it's retailing for $12, but it's so comfortable to wear, and it's very thin on the lips, so I don't want to call it drying, but like you don't feel like you're wearing much either, but you also don't feel like your lips are moisturized because it is a lip mud. So yeah, but really beautiful. I think it shears out really well, and of course when you wear a gloss on it, it's not going to last, but yeah, I thought they wore really well. Of course, I have always sung praises for their highlighters. These, or this particular highlighter, Ghost Orchid, is no different. I think it's a really wonderful addition to their lineup. I really love the pink color so much. The Wetliner is so fun. I love the color choices in it, and if you are really big into a Wetliner or you want to get into them, I really like the Dieverune ones. They are humongous, and you can sometimes get multicolors in them, so I think they're a lot of bang for your buck. That wraps up my video. I would love to know if you're going to be picking anything up from this collection, or what you're eyeing, or what's going to go on your wish list. Let me know which look was your favorite, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time!